What's up, everybody? Man, it's your boy, Mr. Dugas, coming at you with another video, man. And today, man, I'm going to talk about Game 2 of tonight's NBA Finals. You had the Western Conference champs, Golden State Warriors, beating the Eastern Conference champs, Toronto Raptors, 109 to 104 in Toronto to tie this series up at one game apiece, heading back to Oracle Arena for Wednesday night, yo. What a performance by the Golden State Warriors, aka the GS Boys, yo. The first half, man, Toronto was doing their thing again, man. You had Van Vliet out there knocking down big shots. You know, you had Kawhi doing this thing. You had Danny Green hitting a couple of threes. And you look again, Toronto was up by 12. Steph Curry apparently was sick early on in the game, looking like he had all the takeout food in Toronto and people had food poisoning him. Or whatever the case may be, man. He ain't look right. You know, they started DeMarcus Cousins, which after game one, I felt that was a move Steve Kerr had to make, was to throw him into the starting lineup. And they did tonight, and they paid dividends for them. But they was down 12 in the first half, and they cut the lead down to 5 going into halftime. And then the start of that third quarter, man, they just hit Toronto with just a avalanche, man. As the Warriors went on a 18-0 run, yo, to go from being down 5, you know, to up 13 all of a sudden in the blink of an eye, yo. And Toronto was in an uphill climb the whole second half. And I mean, they just did their thing, man. Steph Curry started getting it going. You know, Klay really had it going in the first half, and it was still kind of doing his thing in the second half. But then he goes out with a hamstring injury late in the fourth quarter. You know, DeMarcus Cousins, like I said, man, a big-time performance. I think he had like 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. Draymond Green had a really good game, especially defensively, as Pascal Siakam didn't have nowhere near the performance that he had in game one. But late in the game, man, with no Klay Thompson out there, you know, the Warriors were struggling to score, like down the stretch. Like, I think they went the last 5 minutes or something really without even scoring like that. But the problem was Toronto couldn't really answer on the other end, as Golden State was completely locked in defensively. But then Kawhi, who just really did his thing tonight, man, like I like to call him Kawhi, Michael Jordan, Leonard. You know, you look again, man, it's a 2-point game. Toronto cut it down to 2 after a big Danny Green three-pointer. You know, Golden State had a little trouble getting the ball in. Toronto almost came up with a steal. They leave Andre Iguodala wide open, who, out of all the guys out there, that's probably the guy you want to take the shot. But, man, as a common veteran on the road in a pressure NBA Finals situation, down 1-0, Iguodala drains the 3, man. And after that, man, it's pretty much good home, Toronto. Make sure y'all drive safe, yo. We going back to Oracle 1-1, man. Huge shot by Andre Iguodala, man, to put him up 5, and that was the deciding factor in the game as Golden State closed it out 109-104, yo. But it wasn't just them, man. You had guys like Quinn Cook stepping up tonight, knocking down some big time 3-pointers, man. They just showed the heart of a champion tonight. You know, they still missing Kevin Durant. Like I said, Klay Thompson goes down late in the game, man, and who knows what his status is for game 3. Andre Iguodala stepped up, especially defensively, and hitting that clutch 3 after he was banged up after game 1, and there was people questioning, could he be available for tonight's game? But he gutted it out and did his thing, man. DeMarcus Cousins, you know, just coming back from a serious quadricep injury. I mean, Steph Curry, you know, under the weather tonight. It was just a big-time performance by them, man, and they just showed the heart of a champion, which is why I believe this team is going to win this series in 6 games, and I stand by that. But, you know, Toronto, man, the problem with them tonight is, which was the problem in their last series with Milwaukee, at times they really struggle to score, yo. At times they just go through long droughts of just not scoring. You know, Kawhi, as great as he is, man, I mean, you know, Siakam was big time game 1, but he didn't really step up tonight like that. You know, Marc Gasol had a quiet game after having a big time game in game 1. Kyle Lowry didn't do much tonight. Plus, he was in foul trouble throughout the evening. You know, Danny Green hit a couple of threes, but basically, besides him knocking down threes, you don't really get much out of him offensively like that. you know, Van Vliet has been their most consistent, besides Kawhi, has been their most consistent offensive player. And he had another solid game tonight, man, but with like 17 points off the bench. But they're going to have to get more consistent scoring from other guys besides Kawhi and Van Vliet, you know, if they really want to push this thing to becoming a competitive series and possibly winning it. Because Kevin Durant is right around the corner, man. And I think tonight was a big win for Golden State because, you know, worst case, it looks like Durant going to be back game full. Now they do got to worry about Klay Thompson, but if Durant comes back game floor and at 4 and they're at worst down 2-1, I feel like they're still in solid shape, you know, going forward in the rest of this series. But, you know, big win by Golden State tonight. The series is tied 1-1. Looking forward to see what happens in game 3 as the series switches back to Oracle, yo. But with that being said, man, that's all I got for y'all tonight. Appreciate y'all checking out the video. Go and give me a subscribe, man. I'm going to have NBA content, man, throughout the year. Y'all have a blessed one. Let's go Heat.